iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Good evening, good afternoon, race fans. This is, of course, Race Spot TV on iRacing Live and DirtVision.com, presenting the final round of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series live under the lights here at USA International Speedway. Hello, I'm Cameron Walsh. That's Rennie Janelle. That's Hugo Louis in the production for the final race of the season. Fret not, though, we'll be back in 2 weeks at a time to be determined. Randy, we've got to settle the championship, though. We've got to settle the final race that we have in front of us, round number 12. It's USA International Speedway. I think probably one of the best tracks we can go to race these 410 wing sprint cars.
And coming in, the track is pretty ideal usage. I think it's pretty decent to start out, but that inside groove getting down low is going to be a little bit slick. Because of that, we're going to look to see these cars go to the top side. We've got a lot of laps on the docket here today, and because of that, we can expect to see that top side, as long as we stay green, go away slowly. Very similar to what we had early on in the season when we came to USA, Cam, and I think it might just be a good one.
Yeah, I'm looking at Tim Ryan right now. He is staying to that top side. Always one of the final qualifiers is Mr. Tim Ryan. Bradley Cash is also putting in his qualifying times. We'll see what Tim Ryan can do. You can see the track is already fairly worn in on the entry. Then it goes from the upper entry to the inside line. So there's plenty of dirt up top. Just got to be a little bit scared going up on the top side entry. That is going to be your worrying point, because that's where the slip line appears. Tim Ryan puts in his first lap. It is an 18.634. He's got one more lap to put in. That number 2 car will go down the back stretch, or the front stretch, and his lap times will actually it'll put him at the top of the point, 18.578, slight delay. So for Tim Ryan, he is going to be starting the final race from the pole position. No surprise there, Randy, with how fast Tim Ryan has been this season in qualifying.
Yeah, that he is, but it's going to be a very, very competitive field. Now, he was the only driver to get into that 18.5 second bracket, but P2, P3 looking very competitive as well. Ricky Sanders and Austin Silverman. Silverman took a couple weeks off. We have him back, and him and Sanders put in same and identical qualifying times here, so a lot of quick drivers here in this one.
Yeah, but Ricky J. Sanders, of course, has his middle initial in it, so that's why he gets the position, probably, I guess. Either way, they do it. How it is they monitor the other seconds of positions down to the 4th, so of course Sanders does have the faster lap time, just doesn't show up. By the way, championship standings, actually Alexei Bergeron, not quite sure what we have left to decide, because he's got 2,045 points. That is a boatload over Austin Selman, Tim Ryan, Steven Renaud, and the rest of the field. Lewis Hewitt in 5th, Nick Cooper in 6th. And it's looking to me like we've got a fairly good and competitive field here today. Pretty much everybody in your top 10 and thereabouts are in presence here tonight for our final race of the 2017 season, number 4. Either way, let's take a look at the starting grid from USA International Speedway. And the number 2 car of Tim Ryan, he's going to be starting with an 18.578 inside position. Number 1, Ricky Sanders, he'll start in the 2nd position. Austin Selman, he will start in 3rd. Cameron Hollow will start in the 4th position. Bob King in 5th. Alex Bergeron, he'll be starting a little further back than he'd like in the 6th position. Lewis Hewitt in the 7th position. Graham Boland in 8th. Kevin Holly in 9th. Bradley Cash in 10th. Eddie Ryan in the 11th position. David Heilman will be rounding out our 12-car grid in the 12th position with an 18.873. So really, Randy, when you think about it, 3/10 from 1st position to 12th.
And as we've seen thus far this season, Cam, that a lot of these drivers, they sort of ebb and flow with the way the track will come and go. We've seen that from Tim Ryan thus far this season. In the last few weeks, indeed, he'll qualify very well, get himself out front early, but the moment that track goes away, something about those ERT cars, they just can't really keep up with the slick racetrack, and that's when you see the likes of the Team VLR drivers, people like Graham Bolin, Austin Selman, Alex Bergeron, they come alive through that second phase of the race if that track goes away. Like I said, we started pretty ideal conditions, top side, relatively, good amount of grip up top. I'm expecting Tim Ryan to run away with this one early, but if we get a so-called reset of the field, I think that some of those Team VLR cars, and hey, maybe even Fear the Roo, some of them might be able to find their way up through the front as well.
Yep, and that is 4 Australians here today. And let's see, if I'm thinking correctly, we might just get fireworks as the safety car pulls away.
I think that's an Eldora thing.
Is it? I thought, well, didn't they have that in Volusia as well? I don't know. There is a car that is having an issue. I got to point this out. Normally we don't point this out. David Heilman he's not having a good day already.
He's won the freestyle competition.
He has. All right. He's sorted it out. But either way, and Randy, I get to say for the final time this season, I'm pretty confident the iRacing official pace track is going to do 2 pace laps around USA International Speedway.
I'm looking forward to the fact that GRC will have standing starts, so I don't have to deal with this every race.
I'll figure out something to throw in there. Either way, so pace truck is that has been our pace driver. We never gave him a name, our pace truck driver, but either way, I'm sure he's had a good time. An interesting time, especially at Lanier, where he gets to drive over the safety wall. I'm sure he enjoys that. But either way, so hopefully for the last time this season, the pace truck will be out and about, and Tim Ryan will have control of the field. Typically, we do have one caution, though. We might see that safety truck. Let's hope to avoid it, as we've got our track ready to rock and roll here for round number 12. Of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series. Tim Ryan, the driver from Australia, comfortably sitting up front. Ricky J. Sanders giving him plenty of space. They're getting ready to rock and roll stacked up. They've got this typical distance that they do from the safety truck. Safety truck looks to the safety of pit lane, and we will get underway for 30 laps here at USA International Speedway. There goes the safety truck, and there goes Tim Ryan unleashing the 410 wing sprint car. We are green for the final time here at USA International Speedway.
Everyone looks to the top side except for Bob King and a couple drivers in back. I think Kevin Hawley, one of them as well. For the most part, everyone looks to the top. First time through 1 and 2, into 3 and 4. King still working that bottom, doing a little bit of an expeditionary investigating down there early, and it seems to be working for him. If he can make that bottom work, when everyone's in the top, he's going to slide to the slick now. Can he make it stick? Yes, he does. Bob King side by side with Hewitt, side by side down the back straight.
Now, he did end up losing a position, though, too. Graham Bolin stays on the outside. Somebody is into the outside wall. That is Bradley Cash. Will he be able to secure the car? I think he might have broken the axle, though. That is going to bring out the yellow flag, as it should have to. We're still green, as, no, he's got the car off, so he's cleared the car. All right, we're going to stay green here. All right, fantastic. Tim Ryan, though, he is in control right now, but Ricky Sanders isn't letting him go. Austin Semmelman, there's a little bit of a distance, maybe 5 cars between Sanders and Semmelman, and then another 3 or 4 cars between him and Cameron Holla. So it's a good run what we got here at the front of this pack.
Down the back straight, and they come once again, and Sanders is keeping him honest as they go into 3 and 4. Tim Ryan all the way up against the wall, which is what we've come to expect from that ERT driver. Down the front straight once again. They're also side by side in the background. I believe that's Bob King once again. But Sanders still keeping that ERT driver of Tim Ryan honest. If you're Tim Ryan, that is not what you want to see, given how you've somewhat struggled on these races once that track starts to go away.
Yeah, so right now, as it stands, there's basically nothing between the number 2 car of Tim Ryan and the number 3 car of Ricky Sanders, and then you've got 7/10 of 1 second between 8/10 to Austin Semmelman. So the front 2 are pulling away, and here goes Ricky Sanders. Sanders is right there. If he is any closer, he'll dive to the inside. Will it be the slide job we're waiting for? Yes, it is. Tim Ryan counters, though. He gets the gun on the straight as he goes back to the pole position as he leads. Once again, we are on lap number 7. Austin Semmelman, he is trying the inside line. Ricky Sanders on the outside. He manages to make the pass, and now he is going to be leading here at USA International Speedway, but Tim Ryan on the counterattack.
He wants to make it 6. They're almost going to be 3 wide for the lead, and Sanders, a fantastic maneuver to get it driven back down to the bottom side, retakes the race lead. Austin Tillman, he will now set his sights on the ERT car of Tim Ryan as they get working down that back straightaway. But it's Fear the Roo from ERT, from Team VLR, 3 of the big teams in dirt racing, all fighting for the top spot. Tim Ryan slides through the stick, and it's going to cost him a position. He falls back to third. Austin Tillman, he's now up at the in second, and Sanders, he looks to the bottom, doesn't really make it work down there though, and I think he's going to go back to the top after this one.
Well, they might be sticking to the top. No, actually, he'll stay to the bottom. I think he knows that the bottom line is faster. Also, someone in the last couple of laps has been tracking on in. Tim Ryan has been slowly loading on back as Tim Ryan is now back in the third position. So it's Sanders, Semmelman, and Ryan as we are 10 laps into this 30-lap feature here for the final round of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series. Ricky Sanders, an amazing pass on the outside, and there wasn't a car length, I didn't think, but he managed to make it stick. Semmelman, he's tried 2 laps in a row. Now there's a little bit of a gap. I'm noticing a little bit of buffeting from these poor 10-wing sprint cars as they're heading into the corners. I think the track is starting to give way. A little bit of rough entries here at USA International Speedway, but for right now, Ricky Sanders covering it fairly well. Great battle going on for 4th position as well.
That there is 4th place. That's happening between Graham Bolin as well as Alex Bergeron. What run has been from Bolin from 8th on your grid up to P number 4, and we're not even halfway, but there has to be a big question mark on those Fear the Roo cars. We know that typically coming into these races, they fuel them up expecting caution. So could we have an issue with Ricky Sanders if this race goes green all the way? They come down the front straightaway to start lap number 13 of 30. Long ways to go for him if this race goes green still. That said, still fighting in your top 5. Semmelman and Tim Ryan, both the ERT cars of Ryan and Holla, are trying to work the top. Ryan now goes to the bottom, and between VLR teammates of Alex Bergeron and Graham Bolin, they're fighting down the front straightaway coming to lap number 15.
Yeah, 14. Ricky Sanders, lap number 14. You got to start wondering, though, are these cars fueled to the finish on a green flag run? We have not really seen a green flag run here. We know that these cars typically are fueled with the expectation of a caution or two, and hopefully nobody will bring that caution out one way or another, if you know what I mean. Ricky Sanders, he stays to the inside comfortably. Semmelman's comfortably on the inside. I think Tim Ryan's machine has not been comfortable on that inside line. Perhaps he needs a wing adjustment. Perhaps the car is just not built to run that inside line. It just doesn't seem to have the bite or the drive, though. He manages to prove me wrong on that last exit. He had to back off, actually, because he was on Semmelman's rear nerf bar. But either way, I got to say, this running on the inside has allowed Graham Bolin and Alex Bergeron to close on in. Bergeron, I'm sure, would love to improve the positions. He's been stuck back there in the 5th position pretty much all race long. Cameron Holla is the only one in that ERT machine trying that outside line desperately to find something. He just can't make it work. Ricky Sanders, we're past halfway, Randy, and it has been green so far.
Tim Ryan going back to the top side of the racetrack, but the good line through 1 and 2 is only about a foot wide if you go up there through that edge of the racetrack. And like I said, the ERT machines have never liked the bottom. They just something in that setup. They cannot get that car to work on the bottom. But Tim Ryan, he's going to try it on Austin Tillman. Can't make it stick. Drive through the grass, and he gets it kicked back the other way. I think the problem is, Cam, they might just drive these cars super, super loose. And it just might be the situation that they cannot get on the throttle and get traction trying to drive down to the bottom. When you go to the bottom, you got to put that big right rear tire into the slick stuff just a little bit. But I can't really get that rear tire into the good dirt. And I think that's what's costing these ERT guys speed. And that said, Ryan tries to work the momentum up and over the top. He's side by side with Tillman. Smacked the wall a little bit, cost him a bit of speed. But into 3 and 4, they're almost 3 wide for your race lead.
Yeah, and Ricky Sanders, he is now starting a hybrid line. He's trying to see perhaps that mid line, maybe the outside line. He's just trying to pick up some speed as he's running the middle of the track right now. Tim Ryan is secured 2nd position from Austin Semmelman. Alex Bergeron is not any closer to Graham Bolin than Graham Bolin is closer to Austin Semmelman, so don't worry about that right now. But either way, no worries for lap traffic as we are closing in on 9 laps to go here for the season of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Cars. Ricky Sanders, he is comfortably right now in the lead. He has put everything he is needed to do, but Tim Ryan, one little nip, one little bite, and perhaps it could be all over for both of them, ending in tears. Then a positive for Austin Semmelman. We will have to see here, Randy, as they are rounding out lap number 22. They are doing a fantastic job wheeling these machines. Tim Ryan, though, he is making a fight back.
Ryan's gonna look to the bottom on Sanders. The top side of the racetrack has sort of come back. I don't think we've actually had this happen yet, but we've gone from the top side of the racetrack being good, that went away. The bottom side became preferred, and now that's gone away. So now everyone is searching on where they can be quick. Right now your leaders are sort of running about a car width down on the racetrack through the corners. There's a little bit of good dirt, and Ryan tries to slide up in front of Sanders, does so, but Sanders gets back underneath them. Right now the quick line seems to be about a car length gap down right in the middle of the racetrack. A little bit of good dirt there that everyone's riding, coming up on 6 laps to go at the line.
Massive slide from Ricky Sanders on the exit of that corner allowed Tim Ryan to close on up. A little bit too much speed though for Tim Ryan. He had to back off, and that means that they just go through 1 and 2. No problems there. It is a 1.2 second gap between the rest of the field and these two leaders of Ricky Sanders and Tim Ryan. Tim Ryan, he is right there. So we're closing on 5 laps to go. Here he goes to the inside. Yeah, so we've got one car out of fuel, so that's not good. What does that mean for the future as I see Bergeron running on the outside against Cameron Holla, but we've got to fight for the lead as Ricky Sanders, he's on the inside line. Tim Ryan, they're doing the switch one turn after another. They are trading the lead as it was Tim Ryan that last time by, and a big wheel that goes into the left front wheel of Ricky Sanders. He's not going to be happy with that. 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go and a question mark on fuel mileage as they go into 1 and 2. Sanders trying to get that Fear the Room machine back up to that top spot. Tim Ryan, though, has done a fantastic job of making this car last throughout this 30-lap event thus far. We've seen him struggle in the past, Cam, once we get into the late stages of the race, and this has been the best event for Tim Ryan by far. Normally he falls off and has to manage a gap that he's grown from himself early on. Here, he didn't have that early speed, but he's wheeled that machine out to the front, and it's going to be 2 laps to go at the stripe.
Yep, and here comes Tim Ryan. Austin Sellerman into the wall as he was into the inside barrier, but he recovers, and hopefully he has no damage. He wants to cover that 3rd position as the caution flag is out. Now Lewis Hewitt is on his side, smoke billowing from his number 4 machine. Let's see what has happened to Lewis Hewitt. We almost had it, Randy. We were almost there, and I almost wonder if we don't have enough time to get a restart.
No, I don't think we're going to get a restart. Lewis Hewitt just drove it into the fence.
Yeah, that was, I'm not quite sure what happened to Lewis Hewitt's vehicle. It's almost like he turned it into the corner expecting it to slide. But either way, not going to be happy with that. That incident certainly not helping anybody as the number 4 car just ended up finding itself into the inside barrier. And that will bring our race to a finish. But either way, we were so very close as Tim Ryan is behind that pacing car to having our green flag finish. But unfortunately, we won't find the battle of who wins between Tim Ryan and Ricky Sanders as the caution was brought out, which means that there's the fireworks I was talking about as Tim Ryan will take the victory for the final time here in the season. Alex Bergeron coming to give him a flyby there as, the victory goes to Tim Ryan and Ricky Sanders, but yet I have a feeling, Randy, everybody's kind of feeling a little bit bummed.
Maybe. It depends how close they were on that fuel mileage. I think if you're someone who is worried about running out of fuel, you might be in a situation where you're thanking the fact that yellow came out. But regardless, Tim Ryan has to be happy with that one. 10-minute run time, and he closed it out. Well done by him. I think actually that might be the longest duration race we've had that went green basically up until the last couple laps.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically the whole race went green because we finished under caution, but either way, it's just it's a bit unfortunate to have that incident, but at the very end, but you know what, that's how things go. Let's see if we can take a look at the official finishing positions for our final race of the season as we have closed out now this run in the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series. Tim Ryan, the number 2 machine, well, he takes it after 10 minutes of good hard racing. Ricky Sanders, who will finish, unfortunately, in the 2nd position. He wanted to make the try, but unfortunately, there is a late race caution. Didn't have a chance. Austin Sellerman, he'll come home 3rd. Alex Bergeron 4th. Cameron Holla 5th. Bob King 6th. Kevin Holly 7th. Eddie Ryan 8th position. And Graham Bolin in 9th. Lewis Hewitt, he'll have brought out that final caution. He'll finish in the 10th position. David Heilman in the 11th position, and Bradley Cash in the 12th position. So, Randy, final race of the season. I think we had a fairly decent season, some good racing all across the different racing circuits that we have available to us here on the iRacing surface. service, and the surfaces, well, they went from being pretty good to being really rough, and we saw that play out tonight.
Yeah, and this is the third season we've done, and of the three, this has thus far been my favorite, simply because, as you said, the way this race surface is working. I mean, we wouldn't have had a race like this 14 weeks ago. We wouldn't have had a race like this the season before that even. So to have, something like tonight even be possible, to see that top side start out good, go away, everyone move to the bottom, that sort of die off, and then everyone start looking for where they want to run next. Everyone end up finding the middle of the racetrack. To me, fantastic race by everyone. Well done, and well, hopefully we have a nice next season.
A nice next season, hopefully joined by not just a growing service of off-roading, but also hopefully a new racetrack. That would be my hope. Fingers crossed for that, ladies and gents.
Midget.
And a midget, yeah, and the dirt midget. We can't forget the dirt midget machine. I honestly, not a thing here in the Northeast, but I know that they're absolutely massive following across the world, or across, I think I'd say the dirt world, I guess I should say. But either way, we have Alex Bergeron for the final time of the season. Alex has been typically joining us in the booth, and so he will do us for this one final time for this season. Alex, not necessarily what you wanted in fourth position. You had plenty of racing, though. Take me through this race here at USA International Speedway. A lot of different changes you had to make with the lines you were taking.
Yeah, for sure, but it was very tough with the fog, and like my Oculus Rift was plenty of fog, and I was unable to see mostly nothing, but yeah, the lines were very different through the whole race long, and I mean, I think I did not bad, but I think I don't know if we get a championship or no, but we'll see at the end of the week. I cannot say it's confirmed, but we'll see. And yeah, it was good. I mean, it seems like the last 3 races or 2 races at USA, when the bottom comes out, and you can just go on the bottom and make it work with your right foot, and but we'll see. I mean, 4th place is good for me, and with a fog Oculus Rift, and with the fastest lap of the race tonight, so I'm happy with that. So it was a good race.
Yeah, and I mean, starting out, everyone ran the high side, then everyone ran the low side, and then at the very end, people were really starting to chew up into that middle. But either way, all season long, you've been running strong, and pretty much you've got some 200-point gap. And after tonight, I mean, it's pretty much going to be confirmed that you're the champion for this season. And very rightfully so, and very well deserved. But just these last 3 seasons of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series here on iRacing Live, RaceTV, DirtVision.com. I mean, we've had some massively good races, and it seems to me we're getting ever closer to that full green flag run. Unfortunately, we had a caution. I know a lot of people plan to have a caution, so they might be lightly fueling their cars. But as time goes on, I'm liking to think that we're going to start seeing some full green flag runs, races pretty soon.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna see some, because with the, I don't know if it's gonna affect something with the heat races, we're gonna have some, hopefully, but it's gonna change everything, and I'm true when it's true when I'm saying that, because it's gonna be, the competition was going to be very, very, very strong. So we'll see how it goes, but can't wait for that.
It's going to be great for us, but not so good for you. Either way.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to see some good racing and some close competition, like tonight in qualifying. So close. It's just you do like a little mistake or just tap the wall a bit, and it's very close. So next season's gonna be even more closer. So even more close, I should say. So yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and either way, anyone you would like to give a shout out to before we let you go for the final time for this season?
Well, like, thanks to all my sponsor, Team VLR, and my teammate finishing 3rd tonight. I mean, we did great, but could have been better. We could have finished 1 too, but it's how it goes. But we'll see with the championship, and I'm happy to be racing in the series and for you guys to broadcast. So thank you guys, and see you next season.
Yeah, we'll see you next season, 2 weeks' time. And, well, Alex, thank you so much. Congratulations on your championship, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
So we actually have Austin Selmelman as well. Randy, you are going to be taking the interview for Austin Selmelman, the #1 machine. He started in third. He finished in third. But the story, so much more than that.
Yeah, I'm stood by Austin, running second in the points coming to this into this one. Let's see if he holds on to that, because Tim Ryan only 50 some odd points away, so maybe be able to jump him here, and then Austin will have to spend the rest of the week trying to figure out how to make that up. But Austin, we missed you for a couple weeks. You come back, you and Ricky Sanders run identical qualifying times, and you guys run one of the most exciting races of the season in terms of the way people were able to race, the way those grooves went back and forth. We heard from your teammate Alex about how he was trying to navigate it. How was it in that #1 machine?
Uh-oh.
Hello?
You guys got me.
There we
Yeah, now
go.
we got you.
All
Alright,
right,
sorry.
we got you.
Yeah,
You're
so
good.
yeah, it was good. It was a good race. It kind of went exactly how I thought for the most part. I kind of made a little tweak to the setup to run the bottom. I knew, just looking at the track before we started, I knew that it was going to go to the bottom pretty quick, and it worked. I mean, I got up to second, and I was actually running Ricky down. Funny story, on like lap 12 or 13, my wheel actually came off my desk. So that was
Been there.
that was interesting. I kind of had to race the rest of the race, pressing it up against it so I could finish. So it was exciting, a little more than I wanted, but it was fun.
That's not the only time I've heard that happen. It's the first time in the dirt sprints, but I had a teammate had a similar issue in a Nürburgring 24 once. But
Ooh, I had that happen when I was leading in at Montreal. It was the one chance I had at winning a race, so go me.
yeah, you don't lead races often, so that's a heartbreaker there. But Austin, you mentioned the fact that you had that set built to sort of run the bottom really well, and that's something we've sort of been talking about lately. That it's sort of Fear the Rue, VLR, and the ERT guys, sort of the three groups that run really, really strong in these Monday broadcasts. And sort of all of you work well in different ways. Like, for example, the ERT guys, Cam Holla and Tim Ryan, typically seem very, very strong when that top side is good. But when it goes away, they typically can't get to the bottom as well as you guys. What are some of the things, you as a driver, I know you generally, if you're experienced, you can sort of interpret what's happening within their sets to cause that. What do you think it is that you guys are doing to make the bottom work, maybe better than some of these other guys who die off once we get a race that has a 20 to 30 lap green lap run?
They're just too tight, too tight. They can't get to the bottom. And when you have the car too tight, you can't rotate the bottom at all, and you can't get off the corner. So I mean, the setup me and Alex are running is pretty much built to run the bottom, mostly. But I mean, you have to make a couple tweaks to run qualifying. I actually messed up my qualifying. I hit the wall. I probably would have been in the 50s, somewhere around Tim was, but messed that up, kind of sent me back. But yeah, I mean, I can, if I wanted to, I can make it a little bit tighter and run the blaze around the top. But I just knew that looking at the track that eventually it was going to go away and we'd have to move around. But I felt really quick on the bottom. Once the bottom came there, I got by Tim and I got up to Ricky, but then it went away again and we had to go back to the middle. And that's when I kind of started slipping a little bit, but still happy to get a good finish.
Thanks for joining us, Austin. Thanks for, as always, for the show you put on when you turn out. Before you head off, though, any shout-outs, who would you like to thank?
Yeah, absolutely. Team VLR, of course, first off. Team Friday for jumping on board for our fixed series. Guys, everybody check that out. We also have the Turkey Gobbler race. It's a week after Thanksgiving. It's a tradition of VLR we've done for 10, 12 years now. That's coming up on Thursday. So guys, check that out. It's all over Facebook. And just all of our partners that make us go fast and make it fun for everybody.
Cam, back over to you.
Austin, thank you so much for hopping in the booth with us. I'm sure we'll see you next season, and hopefully we'll see with the new format. We'll be having heat racing more than likely, and that Austin is really probably going to be shaking a lot of things up here on the iRacing service as far as how we're going with things.
Are you talking to Austin or talking to me?
I'm talking to Austin because I want to.
Oh, okay.
I don't care about your input.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, I wasn't really paying attention. I just heard the last couple words. Sorry, Cam, but
You're fine.
no,
Heat racing.
Heat racing. Yeah, I think it'll be different. It's going to be cool. We'll just have to adapt, just like we've adapted to what we're doing now. So, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot more realistic, and hopefully put on a really good show.
Well, hopefully, but either way, I can't say for certain, and I don't know how much glare I'm going to get from Hugo, but I'm pretty confident that you're going to be able to watch all that here on
Be
iRacing
careful,
on
he's going to be
TV.
in your country shortly.
And dirtvision.com, yes, he is, but he's going to be on your side of the country,
We can get plane
thousands
tickets.
of miles away. But either way, I'm not going to worry too much. But either way, so Austin, thanks so much. Alex, thanks so much to you as well. And well, Randy, we've arrived at that point. We've got to close out the 2017 season 4 season.
Yeah, and it's been an exciting one. Like I said, some interesting changes to the track, some interesting changes to the cars, and be interesting to see what's coming next season. Talking with some people, and it's sort of. Maybe I shouldn't go down this road of speculation, but I think it'll be a good build. But GRC is what we're expecting, heat races we're expecting, new dirt car, maybe a new dirt track. Who knows what's coming out? I think it's going to be an exciting one. And of course, that doesn't it isn't necessarily even limited to just this group. You got potential changes. What's coming on the asphalt oval side, any build changes that affect the road side. It's always this sort of time of year is always the exciting time for builds generally on the iRacing service.
Yeah, and you never know what they bring to the table, of course. They only announce so many things until the build day, but either way, I will say, no matter what, and this is kind of probably the big final thing to say, next season will begin in 2 weeks. We have a week off to celebrate the lovely week 13, where all sorts of crazy car combinations are ran on the service. But irrelevant to that, the week after that we'll be back, and all the usual features will be replaced by, hopefully, heat racing and all the other things that are above, which means that there might be a juggling in the scheduling, which means that you need to actually watch this space. Pay attention on Twitter and Facebook and the iRacing forums and all the goodies. For all your information and on the schedule for the 2018 Season 1 package. So either way, I will say, doesn't look like anything's going to be changing between Randy, myself, and Hugo. So we do hope that in 2 weeks' time you do tune in. Hugo, you can kick off the music one final time as we get ready to say goodnight from USA International Speedway. Under the lights here, it has been a good race. Tim Ryan, Ricky Sanders dueling it out. Amazing passes on both sides that end up going to Tim Ryan. 2 laps to go, a yellow flag came out. That was the decider. Unfortunately, that's just how dirt racing goes sometimes. So either way, from everybody here at the Race Spot TV Command Center, for all of us, we thank you so very much for your viewers and all the support that you give us. We will see you all in 2 weeks' time. Thanks, of course, iRacing Live. A special thanks to DirtVision.com. Amazing partnership. Hopefully, we can continue that. We will see you all in 2 weeks' time. And until then, so long for now. It's been myself, Cam Walsh. It's been Randy Chenault, and it's been Hugo Louis. We'll see you later. Have a good one, and so long for now.